A true calling from God is just that. It's initiated by God. It is not self-discovered. We are not meant to find our purpose. We're not meant to discover our purpose. Does that mean that we're not supposed to seek it? No. But how we're supposed to seek it is by following Jesus, by reading the Bible, by praying, by worship, not by trying to figure out what we're good at and what we enjoy and, what ways that we can most help other people. Not that any of those things are bad, they're just not a calling, right? Secondly, and we've said this a bunch of times, but that a calling is relational before functional. So the specifics of what we're called to do don't matter nearly as much as the fact that we are partnering with God in that mission and that we are side by side with him. The example, again, being Moses, and that God is telling him, I will be with you. This next one I think is so incredibly key, and that is that it interrupts our normal life. So often we kind of make the things that we actually want to do, we make our desires into a purpose. We find a way to make it seem more important and more meaningful, and this must be my purpose, right? Because I care about it so much, and because it's good for the world, and it's a godly desire and all of that, and that all might be true. But a true calling is a redirect. A true calling is an interruption. It is not a path that we are already on. When we moved to Idaho, that was clearly a redirection. That was clearly a calling because we lived in California. Did we want to move somewhere else? Yeah, there were inklings of that. But the choice to leave when we did, we left pretty quickly after we started even really, truly thinking about it. And it was an absolute interruption of our lives because total different community, leaving our families, leaving all of this stuff, everything about it was an interruption to our normal life. Same thing in a smaller way with me focusing more on faith in my business. I was going down a totally different path with my TSA Weekly podcast. I liked what I was doing there, but completely different. It was an interruption of the path I was on. I had to stop doing that in order to do this, right? So that's a redirect. That's an interruption. And this other thing that I'm not going to get into the specifics of is absolutely an interruption, but you'll just have to take my word for that for now. The next thing is that it requires a response. A calling is not complete until we respond to it, until we take that first step. Otherwise, it's just God knocking over and over at the door and calling and calling and calling, but it is not completed until we take action, until we respond. And then the last thing, and this is the one that none of us ever want to think about, but it comes with a cost. A calling is most likely going to be the most wonderful thing that you ever experience in your life when you truly follow that calling and walk hand in hand with God in it. But at the same time, it's going to require sacrifice of something. And that's the part that we like to ignore. But if you're taking yourself down a specific path and considering that your purpose, your calling, and it doesn't come with some cost, some sacrifice, then I don't want to be so absolute about this because, like I said, I am not an expert in any of this, but just based on this and looking at the examples of Moses and Abraham and just all the people in the Bible who the cost is very clear, right, for them, whether it's potential cost or just the very clear cost of obeying God and following that calling. If there is no cost, is it really a calling, or is it us just simply doing what we want to do and making it mean more than it's supposed to? It's just a question I kind of want to leave us with, because I feel like if we get all of this out of order, and if we're so busy chasing what we're supposed to be doing rather than who we are meant to be, who we are becoming, which is a child of God, right? As a follower of Jesus. If we're so focused on the what instead of the who, we're missing the whole point.